Right now, fire investigators are looking into what caused a house fire overnight in Antioch. Let's go straight to Cuthbert Langley out on Cedarview Drive. And Cuthbert, this was a big fire.
It was, Jennifer. As it gets brighter out here, we're getting a better idea of just how bad this fire was. We're standing here at the back of this house, a little bit different view for you this morning. And as I walk over here, you can see what appears to be a deck just lying against this car right here. And then as we look into the house even more, you can see there seems to be hardly even any furniture inside. All we see is just charred wood, brick walls down there in the house. It doesn't even really look like a home. It looks completely level. And here's why. Take a look at this video from early this morning. This happened around 1:45, and you can see just how intense those flames were. A caller actually called 911 about a quarter of a mile away, reporting to see these flames. And when firefighters were arriving on scene, they too said that this was just a very intense fire. Neighbors actually had to help neighbors out of their homes because they were just worried that the fire would spread to nearby cars.
We had one of our neighbors from across the street run to the house and started banging on the door, and my mother-in-law opened the door and he's like, the house is next to you is on fire, move your cars. And that's when we all ran out, and we come out and we see the whole house just on fire, crumbling down.
No doubt a frightening moment for neighbors here. And here's just another view. Again, it looks like something just completely collapsed here on the house. Bricks lying all around me here on the driveway. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt in this fire. The family is actually on vacation. And right now, fire officials say they are beginning to investigate exactly what may have happened that caused this fire. They tell me that actually one of the sons was in the house until about 10 o'clock last night, until he left with his older brother. So they're kind of trying to piece together what may have caused the fire. There were some storm was rolling through, but again, it's still too early to tell. But thankfully, again, nobody was injured, but it will no doubt be a devastating day when this family returns to see just nothing left of their house. Jennifer, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Cuthbert, thank you. Happening now, the search for a teenage girl who disappeared after leaving school early. Columbia police say 14-year-old Caitlin Swafford forged a note to get out of Central High School last Friday and hasn't been seen since. She was last seen wearing acid wash jeans, a black fleece jacket, and a pair of gray low-top sneakers. If you know where she is, call detectives working that case. The number there is on your screen, 931-380-2721. A man accused of kidnapping and raping a woman before leaving her at a truck stop has now been indicted. Douglas Davis was officially charged yesterday with aggravated rape, kidnapping, robbery, and theft. He was supposed to be arraigned earlier this week, but that was delayed after he attempted suicide in jail. Officials say Davis took the 21-year-old woman from her home at gunpoint last week, then assaulted her, and then dropped her nearly 200 miles from her home. The body of a missing scuba diver from Spring Hill has now been recovered in Alabama. Officials say more than 200 volunteers combed the 140-foot deep quarry near Birmingham since Darren Gray vanished last Saturday. He was only supposed to be on a 2-hour dive, but he never resurfaced. At a press conference last night in Alabama, rescue officials credited sonar equipment for finding Gray's body. Right now, they say they don't have any more information about what went wrong on the dive, but this does at least provide some closure for friends here in Tennessee who'd been holding out hope.
This has made it all very real, and so we're just all kind of taking a breath and trying to get used to the idea of a world without him in it.
Gray's family from Spring Hill was in Alabama when his body was recovered. An investigation into what caused his death is now underway. Developing news out of St. Louis, where police and protesters were facing off after the fatal shooting of a black 18-year-old. Hundreds of people took to the streets overnight, where Vanderbilt Myers was shot by an off-duty police officer Wednesday. Police say Myers shot at the officer 3 times first, before the officer returned fire and hit him more than half a dozen times. More protests are planned for this weekend. Meanwhile, state and city leaders are asking the Justice Department to investigate the incident. And we will have more on this developing story coming up later in this newscast. Did Brandon Vandenberg lie under oath? That's the latest twist in the high-profile Vanderbilt rape case. Vandenberg is one of the 4 former football players accused of raping a student on campus last year. The state showed a picture in court yesterday that apparently shows Vandenberg's laptop in his room. But Vandenberg said under oath the computer was with him in a common area when he was searched by police. His attorneys say the search warrant only covered Vandenberg's dorm room. Therefore, investigators should not have taken it. But Metro detectives say the pictures clearly show the laptop was in his room.
Do you think the detectives manipulated the scene, or did Mr. Vandenberg not tell the truth on the stand?
Well, somebody's lying, because those two versions cannot coexist in the realm of honesty.
The case is set to go to trial November 3rd. Not only are the Nashville Sounds getting a new ballpark, they're getting a new logo as well. Here it is. Sounds officials unveiled the logo yesterday. They say it pays tribute to Music City with a guitar pick and the letter N inspired by the sound hole in a guitar. Even the colors have a Nashville spin, featuring what they're calling Broadway burnt orange and cash black. It's a great day to be a Predators fan in Smashville. The team was welcomed at Bridgestone Arena last night by cheering fans and a gold carpet as the Preds started their new season with a new coach. And the season got off to a great start with the Preds beating the Ottawa Senators 3-2. This was only the second time in the past 7 years the team has opened its season at home. And we, of course, will have highlights coming up in sports. And not only were Preds fans cheering in the stands, there was at least one fan cheering from space. Hometown hero and the pride of Mount Juliet, astronaut Butch Wilmore, was seen showing his Predators pride on board the International Space Station last night. He is a few weeks into his 6-month mission there in space. We understand they showed this picture at last night's Preds game, and it got lots of cheers from fans. Wilmore is set to return from space in March to hopefully, he says, see the Preds in the playoffs.